So we just talked a little bit about high school. Let's talk about college now. How was your transition from high school to college?
In terms of what? Like academically, everything, like
Academically,
social.
let's start academically, and then let's talk a little bit about how it was in terms of like a social change, how that affected you.
Okay, so academically, I think you know how teachers are always like, your college professors aren't going to let you get away with that. Well, in middle school,
Hmm.
they're like, your high school teachers aren't going to let you get away with that. And then in high school, they're like, your college professors will not let that fly. If your stuff is late, you're not getting points. But in all reality, my college professors were like, listen, I don't want to teach today, so see you later. But
Yeah,
and they're a lot more lenient than you would expect them to be because they know that you're there because you care more. So they're going to give you a little extra leeway, especially if you show that you're actually interested and you're trying. But if you're
definitely.
overwhelmed, especially your freshman year, they're going to understand because you went from one very different atmosphere to a completely different one in terms of learning.
Yeah, I feel like it's so common. Everyone I talk to has that same story about teachers saying, well, college is going to be so much harder. But honestly, I feel like a lot of my, especially starting college classes, were easier than some of my later high school classes. The hard part was that I had to dictate my schedule. There was no one was telling me you have to do this, you have to do this. I had to wake up and go to class and, block out time to study. And it sounds like, you were great at that in high school, but it took me a little longer to really nail down those study habits. And what you said, especially about making yourself known, I mean, it's having a professor know your name makes all the difference. Just talking with them, going to office hours, stuff like that, definitely. Um, but I know myself when I started at MC, I changed my major. I think it's 4 times at this point. Did you ever change your major when you were going to college?
Yes. So I started out as a pre-nursing major because you're not a nursing major until you get accepted into
Mm,
actual nursing school. And I was that all through first semester, and then I had some interesting experiences with different friends that I had made that kind of changed my perspective, and I was like, I want to do psychology,
mm,
which is where I was for a while. Now I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I'm like, do I want to do psychology? Do I want to do mix that with exercise, nutrition, and wellness? Since I'm trying to get my life together on that front. Like,
hmm.
I want to be able to get other people's lives together in that front.
Yeah,
So, so
yeah.
in short, yes, I have changed my major, and I'm probably going to do it again.
I th- One of the things I was so stubborn about when I started in college is every time someone said, "Well, you probably change your mind," I kept going, "No, no, I
No,
won't.
I won't.
No, I will never change my mind." And now I'm thinking, because I think, and another thing I want to ask you is, I attach so much of my identity to my major, especially right out of high school. I mean, I was still figuring out who I am. I still am figuring out who I am. So, did you ever, when changing your majors, did identity ever come into play? Was that ever an issue?
Yes and no, I guess, because on one hand, in my family, especially my dad's side, there are a lot of medical professionals, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, yes!"
Hmm.
And so I was like, "Okay, great." Now, I have all these people that are expecting me to do X, Y, and Z and be ABC. My dad's aunt is, or was, I guess she just retired, the dean of the nursing school for the Mormon school, BYU, BUY. I'm dyslexic, I guess.
Sure.
I can't, I can't remember. Brigham Young, BYU.
Hmm.
It's just. And his sister is a registered nurse. She's a midwife. She's all of these things. She has so many random letters: RN, LN,
Hmm.
LA, B, C, D, E, F, G. Um, so there's a lot of subtle pressure. So I still haven't told her in particular that I changed my major, and that was a year and a half ago. She's
Uh,
always like, "How's school?" It's great. It's great, Jeanette. It's great. I learned so much. Yes.
just
Nursing.
nursing every day.
Fibula. Fibula.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Works every time.
And yeah, it's such a. I feel like that was one of the biggest things I had to realize because I think I probably told you this story, but I saw some live music in DC, and it was like this really cool, like disco-y, synthy kind of style band. And I talked with the members afterwards, and like the drummer was a mechanical engineer, and the lead singer was like a research assistant in the Colombian embassy. And I just realized that all these wonderfully creative people are also STEM majors. And I thought, oh, I don't really just have to be in a box with my major. So
It's much nicer outside of the box.
definitely.